You have found Firebirds Weekly, a show about everything Firebirds. Thank you for stopping by. Game analysis, highlights, stats and trends. Firebirds Weekly, beyond the headlines. This week's guest is the father flocker, Stephen Lownsbury.
Welcome to the episode number 10 of The Nest. I'm Adam Samarov, one of the co-hosts of the show, and with me is Chris Sepperly, the other co-host. And tonight we have the father flocker, the leader of flock support for the Albany Firebirds, Stephen Lownsbury. Steve, how are we doing tonight?
Doing excellent, guys.
Also, we're broadcasting from GC Tractor down in Hoosick Falls, New York. You can see right behind us there is a whole host of Spartan mowers. They're an authorized Spartan dealer. So with that, we'll get into the story of the father flocker.
So I just had my first question is how did you become a fan in the first place? For me, growing up here, I got involved with them in the '90s. I would assume your story may be the same.
Absolutely. I think my first Firebirds game, I don't remember the exact year, but Zubaz pants were involved.
Well, see, if you're in Buffalo, those are a normal thing anyway.
I still
absolutely
wear them. I have a pair at home.
Right.
Nice.
Who knows the year?
Yeah, so I was just a big fan during the 90s and went to a lot of games. Being in my 20s, didn't have a lot of money, so me and my friends used to sit up in the upper bowl. Kind of preferred that. You could really watch the touchdown Eddie Brown run his routes. It was just great, and there's not a bad seat in the whole arena.
So the team has had many different incarnations over the years, and they've been here, and then they went away in the early 2000s, and then has come back as Firebirds, the Empire Firebirds, that kind of thing. When did you kind of re up your fandom of the team, and like, hey, they're back in Albany?
2018 when the Empire started. I think I only missed 2 Empire games the whole time.
And so what how did it turn into 2018, the Empire come back, obviously you're a fan, love the game, love the way that they have the city, that kind of thing. How does that parlay into the role that you have now as a member of what you guys are calling flock support, and that it's this really good back and forth between the team and the fans? How did that kind of come into play, that it was more than just, yes, I love the team and I'll buy tickets and come to the games? Now it's more, it's kind of like that baseball team mentality, the travel team mentality of like, we do stuff for the players, that kind of thing. How did that happen?
Well, I like to keep it positive like you guys do. 2019, I was obviously gutted when the AFL folded. When the Empire came back, I was, packing the house during COVID, showing up. And then in 23, the year that we don't want to talk about, I was obviously gutted again as a proud employee at TransFinder. It kind of hurt on 2 different levels. Seeing our players leave and go play for Orlando, and seeing the product that was put on the field, it just gutted me. And then the team folded, and it just hurt. I think we all felt it. It hurt the players, the owners, the team, everybody. And when they announced the Firebirds were coming back, I was just ecstatic. So I started going to Flock U, started asking Coach and Levac every week, how can I help? How can I help? Here's my set of skills. How can I help? And then shortly before Christmas, Levac asked me if I would head up the booster club and get that started again. And then we met, and I was a little nervous about it, but as I talked to people, there was so much excitement about it that I was like, okay, I can do this. So we met. That came up with the flock support name, and off we went.
Talk a little bit about the flock. We're going to talk to Jeff here coming up in the next few weeks. You'll want to stay tuned for that interview. talk about being a part of that Flock U show. He goes around and they go to it's at Apex or it's at this different places around the capital region, and it's basically the coaches show. A lot of teams, college and pros do kind of coaches shows. Talk about having that as something here in Albany where fans can go and listen to Coach Ware and and Jeff Levac, the president of the Firebirds. Talk about the team, talk about what's going on. Having kind of that insider access, if you will.
Yeah, insider access is exactly what it is. I mean, this team is accessible. Coach and Levac put themselves out there. They bring in
Mhm.
players. They bring in the owners. Uh, they're very open and honest with us about what they're doing. And it's just a great fun experience to go hang out with diehard fans, and say hey to Coach and Levac and just have a great time. And then during the season, obviously the players are there as well. So, I really encourage everybody to come out and kind of experience it. And bring your kids. It's usually family friendly, and unless we're talking about the new footballs, then it gets a little on the borderline of not being.
Yeah, those look phenomenal.
Yeah.
Actually having like a leather football, it's an interesting design. I know we weren't planning on talking about this, but nonetheless, it's an interesting design. And in terms of it has the markings of college ball, but the stitching is there, but the stripes aren't. So it's kind of a really unique looking football. And I think they really did a heck of a job with it. I'm looking forward to seeing the other side of the football where it says TransFinder, and I'm sure they are too. That's going to be a pretty awesome thing. And I got a question for you that I was thinking. So you started conversation with Levac, and you had said that to restart the Booster Club. Um, what did that look like before? And when you looked at it before, did you kind of have a plan to make it better?
Um, I saw the Booster Club in the '90s. They had a huge presence,
Mm-hmm.
huge following. Seemed to have a great time.
Yep.
Um, I wasn't as outgoing as I am now. I was just
Sure.
in my mid 20s, just kind of trying to find my way in life. So,
Mm-hmm.
they had a huge presence. And Jim Malone ran it before, and they were just everywhere at a game. And that's definitely where we're trying to get back to. And I think we're kind of making it our own.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we're trying to connect, help connect the fans more to the team, and then help the team on and off the field. Um, it, so I think we're making it our own. I think Adopt a Player has it's our flagship program, and it's really making a name for ourselves. We've had owners come up to Denise and I at block parties and say, looking for us, to talk to us about Adopt a Player, and how they've heard about it, and how much the team appreciates it. So that's a great feeling when you got owners of other teams coming to say hi at a block party to thank you for what you're doing. And Jeff Fisher at the Arena Bowl, um, uh, what a great guy! I can't say enough. He was talking to me, and my wife was kind of standing off to the side with my daughter about 10 feet away, and he had a line of I had a line of people behind me waiting to meet him. And he stopped me mid sentence and says, "Is that your family?" And I said, "Yeah." And he like walked right away from me and walked right to them and introduced himself. Like, "Hi, I'm Jeff. I just want to thank you for um, letting your husband do everything he has for the Firebirds and for this league. I really appreciate it." And
Oh, that's amazing. No, because
yeah, that's
Definitely want to talk. I definitely want to do an interview with him. Hopefully, we can get that at some point with to interview the commissioner of the league.
because every time we've done an interview, I mean, Adam, I don't think it's gone unnoticed one time.
Not at all.
This is episode 7. We talked about flock support.
10.
10,
It's
excuse me.
episode 10.
10. And there has not been a time that somebody hasn't brought it up. And
The Adopt a Player.
and it's been players, coaches, both of them, and they all are very grateful for what you guys have done, and hopefully we'll continue to do.
yeah.
And we're all excited to see where we're going to take it next.
And just kind of circle back about the Flock U. Our Adopt a Player program, we try to plan the drop offs, the Flock U before a road game.
Mhm.
I encourage everybody to come out, especially the ones doing adopt a player that week to bring their bags personally. Most of the time, the player will be there, and there's nothing. I felt bad because not everybody comes and drops their bag off, and they don't get to see the players, how ecstatic they are, how they're FaceTiming with families, with me, or with other people, um, FaceTiming their families who are at home hundreds, thousands of miles away to show them everything that they got from the flock. And, to get that personal thank you from the players, and just see the smile on their face, that's another reason people should come out to flock you.
Well, how do you come up with the list? Like, how do you know what
Um,
to
yeah, so that all that credit belongs to Denise, Mother Flocker. She's the MVP of flock support. The flock support, the flock, they keep us busy and step up. Um, so basically, how it works is we give the players a survey at the beginning of the year, and we've got questions so we can find out their likes, dislikes, any allergies, guilty pleasures, stuff they like. So we can kind of cater, hopefully cater the bag to what they
Yeah.
want to
I
receive.
think I'm gonna bet a couple of guys have like romance novels in the bag. Like nobody's supposed to know, but they like them.
Yeah. So basically,
Have the
Denise put
votes?
Yes.
Denise puts out the call for action for the bags, and we randomly assign players to people. You know, Lots of people request certain players, but we want to keep it random and change every
I
week
think
for
it's
that
important.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, get to know these guys and see, you know, how great they are. All these great character guys that the team brings in every year. So it kind of gives everyone a chance to really get to know everybody.
And then another thing, that I think is amazing, considering the amount of work that you guys do over an off season and then even into the season, like you said, is that it's all volunteer. You guys aren't getting paid. You guys are using your own hard earned money and your hard earned, your time to really give these players an experience and to let them know that they've got people behind them, even if they're guys from Florida or Georgia or Arizona, whatever, wherever they are, South Africa, for example, that they got people behind them, even if their family isn't with them right now while they're out
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah, and part of my background is I'm an Army veteran, so I used to, I was never deployed, but we would be out in the field and I'd get a care package from friends or family, and it meant the world to me. I also traveled the world for 4.5 years with one of my jobs, and sitting in a hotel for weeks and months gets pretty lonely. So I definitely think this, provides some comfort, and we're just glad to do it.
Denise actually posted a comment and said that even her assignment's random, so no
Yeah,
cheating because she runs it. It's not you can't cheat.
absolutely. She wanted one player last year and never got the assignment.
So we talk about adopt a player, and I'm sure we'll circle back around because that's obviously the big thing that you guys do. This year, you guys have talked about a welcome to Albany kind of gift, especially for guys coming up. We have a good mix of veterans and rookies. Talk a little bit about that if you can, and just kind of the basis behind that a little bit.
Yeah, just like the team, we want to get better every year. We want to improve. We don't want to rest on our laurels. Um, and just it's great. Everybody praises flock support, but we want to get better and keep
Mm.
blowing people's minds. So this welcome to Albany surprise, all the players reporting to camp, every player is going to end up with a welcome to Albany bag. Unfortunately, I think 11 get cut. But they're going to go to other cities, and with this roster that is stacked, they're going to be starting for other teams. They're they're going to be leaving Albany and going to other cities, knowing how well they're treated here, and you never know how that may play out in the future. You know, I when last year when I met Andy Gelcher for the first time, coach was standing next to us and I said, flock support is going to be a recruiting tool for coach next year. That's our goal. And like you said, like coach said on last week's episode, I'm a show me kind of guy. And he absolutely is. He looked at me like, all right, let's see what you can do, kind of show me. And um, like 2/3 of the way through the season, he's on Flock University talking about how great the Flock has been and have really stepped up, and Flock support is going to be a reason guys want to come here. And that just meant the world to me. Earning their trust and respect is has been the most rewarding part of all this.
And I mean, again, obviously, we look at some of these guys, obviously they're professional athletes, but these are humans too. If they have two opportunities, Albany and wherever, and they know the kind of treatment and the kind of thing that the support that these guys get, that may not happen in another city. That may be the thing that tips the scale of a player coming and signing with us.
Yeah, not even that, or I mean that, and I hope he doesn't mind me sharing, but Jonathan McAllister shared with me, he kind of came to Albany last year, and he was, leaving where he came from, and just that bad experience of a team folding and having to go to Albany. He said that he showed up on day one at a Flock U, and Denise handed him a bag, and he said that it really lifted his spirits. So it's even the guys coming into town, you know,
Yeah.
mid-season.
That's,
We want to make sure they feel the love right away.
well, that's big because like last year, and I know last year didn't really go like everybody wanted, but there was a lot of interruptions in terms of schedules. Let's put it that way. That really, I'm sure that allowed them to kind of get through the week because they weren't really planning on being in town. You know, um, so yeah, I think what you guys do is absolutely incredible. I know they greatly appreciate it because I'll say it again. 10 episodes in, nobody has mentioned it. Not one. Everyone's very, very thankful for that.
I think
Yeah.
even like I think the one person that isn't like a member of the Firebirds organization was Gary Compton, the director of football operations for AF1, and I think he even mentioned
Yes,
something
he did.
about the fact that the support up here is top notch. So even somebody that's on the outside looking in said the same. So
Excellent. And we couldn't do it without the Flock. They are Flock support. They've really stepped up for us. Denise's living room has been taken over by donations for the Welcome to Albany surprise. Um, and uh, we have to fill 30 adopt-a-player bags every week. And not only are we a volunteer organization, we're self-funded. Um,
Right.
the proceeds from the 50/50 go to Flock support. The adopt-a-player bags are donations from players. We've had people step up and give anonymous donations towards our club.
Mm.
Don't even want to be mentioned. They're like, I want to help you guys out. Here you go. So Denise and I can't thank the Flock enough. I mean, they've really they they make us work hard because their giving has been so much.
another thing we wanted to talk about a little bit, and again, not sure exactly how much you can talk about yet because it's still up in the air, but trying to do some charity things. Obviously, again, Albany being a pretty tight knit community, and being able to like, hey, let's do something to raise some money for a good organization. Talk about that if you can a little bit of what some ideas maybe that's been thrown around.
Yeah, absolutely. We ask a lot of the Flock, and we need to fund ourselves, but you know, we want to get to the point where we're able to give back to the community. We're working with the team on something. Can't really mention it right now, but it's gonna be a fun event, and it's gonna be an opportunity for us to really show what the flock means. And the goal is, the one charity we're planning for, that there's going to be so much giving that we're going to probably have to branch out and bring in some other charities or organizations to give some of the donations to.
One that I know that you guys are a big part of is and actually Damon mentioned it last week about filling the nest, to put it that way, to really fill out. I think Albany was one of the higher attended uh, last year in terms of home attendance, especially. And the idea of bring someone that's never been, just talk about maybe some efforts in terms of getting more fans into the door. You mentioned the family friendly. tickets aren't too expensive. It's a fairly inexpensive night out for a family.
Yeah, and a big part of bringing my kids to the Empire games when they were younger was there was really nothing at block parties for kids. It was, so part of what we do at Flock Support is free of charge. We give temporary tattoos. Black Mother has become an expert at applying them. I think we're going to need some more people to help with that this year. We're going to get some spike head tattoos.
Yeah,
They've been a
cool.
big hit.
Yeah.
I think she even did some on some opposing fans last year, which was great. We also have a sign coloring station free of charge at the block party just to try to get families to come out and then have some positive experiences and gain those lifelong fans. My favorite part besides the game is the post-game on-field meet and greet.
Yeah,
There's
that's special. Yep.
yeah, no better feeling than going out on the field. And what Coach Ware has done is all the players come out. Like back when the
Yeah.
Empire were here, there were some guys who didn't come out. Everybody comes out regardless of their position.
Yep.
So
He
that's
mentioned that
probably
last
my
week.
He did, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he's like,
yes.
I think he said he requires every player at least 10, 15. But I would guess her out there for more like a half hour. Most of those guys.
Oh, absolutely. And the MVP staff, the clock goes off after the hour and they're trying to kick people out and the players don't want to leave, the people don't want to leave. Like when you're talking to people, especially people with kids, when you're talking to your friends and family, definitely bring that up. Because what adult doesn't want to go out on the field that they play in and actually walk around and, get to shake hands with the players, the cheerleaders, Spike. It's just an awesome, awesome experience that you're not going to get in the NFL or the UFL or, pretty much any other league.
Do you know or do you recall? I was younger when the Firebirds were here the first time. Did they do something like that?
I think they did. I think they did a limited on-field meet and greet after the game, or maybe you came to the barrier and they were on the field.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was. I don't think it was like it is today. Maybe our historian Dave Williams can let us know what they did.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, I'd be interested to know because I remember, Arena Bowl '99 for me was kind of like, the mecca of local sports, and I remember sitting in the stands like, man, where the heck did all these guys get these signatures from? And I remember being very jealous of that.
Yep.
Being a kid, there's nothing worse than having this expectation in your head that you're going to be able to get something like that, and not being able to. That's not a concern with the Firebirds whatsoever.
No.
It's really that's important. That really
Yes.
is. It can't be understated.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you see that in other teams, in other cities or other teams. Albany seems to be one that really does it. Like right.
Well, we're the standard, so I'm sure during some of those league meetings it was talked about.
All right. Yeah. No, I appreciate you coming on and getting a chance. Is there anything else you want to put out there in terms of ways to get in? I mean, if people hear this and they're like, "Hey, we want to get involved," how do they get to be a part of this process? I know.
Yeah.
Like you said, you need a lot. You're gonna need some more hands.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe the email is firebirdsflock@gmail.com. They can reach out on Albany Firebirds Nation Facebook page. They can come and see us at Flock U, or once the season starts, we'll have a table pregame. We're looking for volunteers. The team is going to be looking for volunteers for certain events, so we'll be providing those volunteers.
All right. So the idea is either email or look for the table at the first game, which is going to be the weekend. I think it's going to be the 21st, Friday, I believe, for that first home opener.
Yeah, and then actually another Friday, another 21st. Single
game tickets available.
Yeah. So
February 21st.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. So I want to, if you got a few minutes, I kind of wanted to kind of get your thoughts on the 2025 squad as you see it.
Oh, me?
Yes, sir.
Look at the tail of the tape. I mean, these guys are taller, bigger. I loved last year's team. No disrespect at all. It was an
course.
awesome team. Coach Ware has brought in a stacked team. I mean, you look at the secondary, the wide receiving core. Sam's back. The O
That's right.
line, the D line. I mean, there's no holes. Just totally excited for this new season.
Yeah, I agree. Being a Bills fan, I'll put that out there. Get that out of the way. Having Duke Williams, I think, is a big deal, and I hope the fans kind of take a look at him when they have the open practice. And sometime was it March 7th?
March 7 is going to be the inter squad scrimmage for kind of that last push to the beginning of the year, which is the 14th of March.
And it's pretty interesting. The team took a picture with Denise and I last year, and I'm 5'10", 265, and these guys dwarfed me last year. So I'm looking forward to a picture with the team this year and see how tiny I look.
Well, I really do appreciate you taking the time. Our apologies for kind of getting a little bit of a late start, but again, I think what you guys do is very important. It is very well received and very much appreciated. With that, Adam, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I just again want to thank you, Steve, the father flocker, and what do we say at the end of every show? No, that's Jeff's thing. But yeah, no, we look forward to talking to you again, later in the year, and get the chance to see what you guys do as a flock to help out these guys. So we really appreciate your time.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on to talk about the flock support and all the good things that the flock does for the team. I just can't wait for 2025.
It's right around the corner.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Steve.
All right. Thanks, guys.